and the FedEx Forum for Game 3 of the 2-7 matchup in the West. San Antonio and Memphis. Dominant performance by the Spurs in games 1 and 2. They lead 2-0. As you see the rest of the story in the West, those top 4 seeds expected to move on. We've seen one surprise with Houston beating Golden State last night and Dallas's win over Oklahoma City in Game 2 of that series. Mike Tirico, Hall of Famer Hubie Brown, Heather Cox will join us here in a little bit. Memphis can't score. 74 and 68 points. Credit Dave Yeager and Memphis as we look at tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by Modelo Especial. A change in the Memphis starting lineup. No Chris Anderson. They go smaller and add Tony Allen to Farmar, Carter, Barnes, and Randolph. For the Spurs, it's Tony Parker, Danny Green. Kawhi Leonard, Defensive Player of the Year. LaMarcus Aldridge and Tim Duncan. More on Memphis and their injury woes. Here's Heather.
Mike, things are just getting worse for the injury.
Defensively, gets up for the quick timeout. About 5.5 gone by in this first quarter.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs. Brought to you by new Ciroc Apple. Irresistibly crisp. Celebrate life responsibly. Taco Bell's new Quesalupa. It has everyone talking. What are you waiting for? And the local experts at your independent True Value.
And now for tonight's winning ingredients, brought to you by McDonald's. That ingredient, the Spurs D.
Now this is, just watch how quickly 4 guys get to Randolph. Now this has been going on all through games 1 and 2, and now in the early going, making it extremely difficult. Now here, you got a baseline screen. Leonard's late, but he still gets the shot block. Why is that important? They're averaging 9.5 blocks, shot blocks, and you can see it.
Low scoring quarter again for Memphis, but they're a lot closer. Well, you need a program to figure out your Grizzlies this year, folks. Memphis played 28 different players in the regular season, the most ever by a team that made the playoffs. 8 different players signing 10-day contracts. They used the league's hardship issue to make a player transaction. 18 different starters Dave Yeager had to throw out there in 28 different starting lineup configurations. The team did lose 10 of their last 11, but it is definitely a wide-angle lens needed for the team photo for this season. 28 different players. It almost looks like a Todd McShay, Mel Kiper mock draft board than an NBA roster for the year. But some of it was their own doing. They made some trades, but an unbelievable spate of injuries has taken out Mike Conley, you see there with the boot, and Marcus Saul's further down the bench there as he was injured as well. 2 key pieces they lost in the second part of the season.
Well,
3. The Spurs hit a 3 and lead by 8. San Antonio's won all 9 quarters in this series and are +8 after 1 in Game 3.
Welcome back to Memphis, where it is now time for the coaches interview, brought to you by the U.S. Navy. Joined by Greg Popovich. And Coach, 1 quarter in the books. How would you assess your team's effort so far?
Very upset right now with his guys. So he's challenging the referee, and so is Leonard. But that was a smooth move by Stevenson. Just watch this. The trailer's coming right down the middle. There he is, right there. Beautiful look.
The early lead, that series moving to Massachusetts with Boston trying to get on the board there. We'll have Game 4 of Oklahoma City, Dallas coming up tomorrow on ESPN, followed by the Clippers and Portland. It passed John Barry, Chris Broussard up the Game 4. You win Dallas, Oklahoma City up 2-1 in that series. Rick Carlisle adding a little between-game spice with the conversation about physicality from Oklahoma City. Then Mark Jones, Doris Burke, and J.A. Adande are up in the Great Northwest to watch Portland try to get on the board as the Clippers have a 2-0 series lead there. That's the doubleheader tomorrow night. Foul on Tony Allen. 5:25 left. The steps from Beale Street. It's a beautiful town of Memphis, the home of the Blues. Well, Tim Duncan has 5 NBA titles. And compared to the players Memphis has available, this is an all-time playoff comparison, the playoff history. Duncan's the 5th most points in playoff history, more than all the Grizzlies. More blocks by 303 than all the Grizzlies who can play tonight. And more rebounds by about 350 than all the Grizzlies who can play. You can say that about a bunch of teams, but Tim Duncan's playoff career. And a timeout taken by Dave Yeager. 2-point game. Tightened up. And Memphis has had the lead for another 16 seconds. FedEx Forum, and it's time to check out tonight's home court advantage, brought to you by Lowe's.
Now just watch his spin move. And they're from outside the paint, all right, from outside the college paint. And our Stevenson, he came in, went 4 for 4. You're going to see his mid-range game tonight is excellent. Then once again, you go to Randolph. He has that little baby jump shot, or he will take that spin move. Now you can see what they're doing between them. 18 points, but more important, they're 8 for 12 from the field. Now, I like Stevenson in this spot rather than Carter. Carter got off 1 for 5, had a lot of good opportunities. This guy is more athletic.
To remind you that Monday Night Baseball will come your way on ESPN with the Yankees, who could get a win tonight. 6-3 over Tampa, taking on the Texas Rangers. Your Monday night game at 8 Eastern. Beltran, Beltre, center stage, among others. And you'll see it on ESPN. Greg Popovich unhappy with Gary Zielinski, and both coaches unhappy with the officials. That one clearly out of his hands and counts. And Memphis comes up with its highest scoring quarter of the series, a 25-point quarter. Toyota halftime coming up. At the break in Memphis, Grizzlies trying to get their first game. They're only down 1.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs, brought to you by Nissan, innovation that excites.
All set for our second half, the home of the Blues, birthplace of rock and roll, Bluff City, and also pretty darn good barbecue as well. Rendezvous barbecue among the must-haves, and we're here all weekend. We're here Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so Rendezvous barbecue will be consumed by our team. We look forward to that over this weekend here in Memphis for games 3 and 4 of this Western Conference Playoff Series. Tonight's first half stats brought to you by Kia. Show the 1-point edge for the Spurs, despite Memphis only hitting 1 3-pointer. Did a good job on the boards and on the bench. Mike Tirico, Hubie Brown, and Heather Cox. Yeager, a lot of rope here. And Danny Green also listening in.
This is just a strong move. Barnes gets fouled there on the way up. And then, once again, Carter thought he got hit on the shot.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs, brought to you by State Farm. We exist to assist. And chocolate milk, trusted by athletes, backed by science.
Spurs lead it by 2. It's Memphis. Came over and said hi and chatted with him for a minute, but that's the reason Popovich doesn't go to a guy who he used for 29 minutes in the games in San Antonio. Spurs in a tough one here in this third quarter. Sunday night. That game will be on TNT. Sunday afternoon, we'll have a doubleheader on your ABC station right here for Game 4 at noon Central, 1 Eastern time. Golden State Houston will follow that at 3:30 Eastern. Sage, Doug, and Jalen will get you going with NBA Countdown presented by Straight Talk Wireless at 12:30 Eastern time. Of course, watch ESPN, the ESPN app. You can stream it live wherever you go on the weekend. Spurs by 1. Far their highest scoring quarter. They had 28. They're on their feet in the grindhouse. Off to the 4th, and we've got a game.
Welcome back to Memphis, where it's a 1-point game.
Did everything trying to find enough in reserve for the fourth quarter. These old and young undermanned Grizzlies giving it everything here tonight, Hubie.
Well, you just like what you're seeing here. Just a great move by Barnes. Takes the contact, gives you the opportunity for 3. But how about Randolph? This is where they are whipping San Antonio. You wouldn't think it. When you say second chance points, 14-1. Offensive rebounds, 12. And then Barnes has been magnificent, not just with the 15 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals. Giving it to us everywhere.
Absolutely.
All of a sudden, the man playing the 3-man just takes off. They look for the lob pass.
And the frustration
right
of
here. There goes the shot. Look where Anderson is. He's already over half court, and that's smart basketball.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs. Brought to you by Ford. Go further. And Burger King, introducing new grilled dogs made with 100% beef and flame grilled. Available now at BK.
12 years ago tonight, Hubie Brown, Jerry West in the front office helped get this Memphis team to the playoffs. And my partner here is honored as the Coach of the Year, Greg Popovich, with a nice welcome. David Stern was there to present the award. And that was Game 3 of a first-round series against the Spurs, who won the first 2 games in San Antonio. Duncan hit the big shot. Mike Miller just missing on this one. And San Antonio went on to win that series in 4. That was 12 years ago today when you were honored as Coach of the Year here. A 50-win season really gave this group a foundation to grow from.
Mike Heisley, the owner.
One more coming for Leonard as soon as we're done. Sports Center at night with Scott Van Pelt. Complete recap of the 3 NBA playoff games and a wild triple play in baseball. Huge free agent signing in the NFL. UFC 197s tomorrow night in Vegas. SVP's got you covered coast to coast. Great hockey playoffs as well. Washington unable to close their series out. No, Scotty can do anything. He'll do it on an hour on SportsCenter coming up after the game. Allen couldn't make the clean catch, but gets fouled as we get under 3 minutes and have a timeout.
As soon as Barnes was there, beat his man off the dribble. The rotator came. Allen was wide open. That had to be a catch and a dunk.
Go-to guys. The guys.
3 goes to the Spurs. And San Antonio will be the first with a chance to make it to the second round. Game 4, Sunday, 1 Eastern, noon Memphis time on your ABC station. Kawhi Leonard had 32, Aldridge 16 and 10, the double-double. Part of the victory for the Spurs tonight. With Heather Cox and Hall of Famer Hubie Brown, Mike Tirico, Marty Aronoff on stats, Ed Fiveshoff, Ken Dennis, our great team in the truck. We say so long from Memphis, and we send you to Sports Center and SVP.